Alright, so we slowly started the process of placing down a few rails here, getting it to the iron farm. The iron farm is fully functional now. The only thing we're missing is the villagers and the little rail system. This is going to be the little pocket that they're in. Then they have a second pocket. Oops. Then they have a second pocket for them right over here. Now comes the tedious process of trying to get these guys all situated inside of here. And by the way, we're at a powered rail track, so all the track that you see is regular rail, which is going to require us to manually scoot them along from the center area over there. They will be scooted all the way down here. It's going to be fun. Oh, what fun it was sitting here waiting and waiting and waiting for these villagers to breed. Once they breed, you gotta push the villager out, the little baby that they just pooped out into the world, push him out into a cart and get him into the cart and then shove him down the tracks and do that over and over again. Oh, did I mention the waiting for them to breed? You know how annoying this is when you have to sit here and wait for these guys to do the dirty right in front of you? It's nasty. And then we get their baby and we ship them off to an orphanage. Like all good little babies. Even when they don't want to go and they're stubborn like this one. He just sits there. We kill the cart. He walks forward. We lure him in with candy. And then we shove him in. And then he's gone. And then we shove the next one in. And then boom. When you walk down the hall, there's magically a slew of babies waiting here to become grown-ups. By the way, the waiting, you have to trade with them. Then you have to go and ship them off down to the little pod down there. By the way, we got more babies. This is ridiculous. And so I did trading in between while waiting for them to grow up. As soon as they grow up, you grab a fletching table, you throw it down, and this guy will shift into a fletcher eventually, and you go and trade with him. Once you trade with them, they're locked in, they can't go. But the key is, you have to remember that those fletching tables, they're locked to. They need those specific fletching tables down at the thing, which I forgot later on. Now came the tedious process of trying to scoot them up this hill and down the track. This was the most annoying thing I had to do before we finally figured out a better way later on. But right now, this is how we're doing it. And it took forever to scoot them up here and get them up the hill. And then you have to manually scoot them because we didn't have enough powered track to do all this. So there's little spots of powered track that they go through at the end there. And then there's another spot of powered track that they hit right before they go up that little hill. And then they head down to Tim. And then Tim waits there and, or puts them in their pod. And hopefully the system works. But you'll find out that we had a slew of problems with this stinking iron farm that was ridiculous. See these Fletchers? We had 2 groups of them. You can't have 2 groups of Fletchers when you start. In this clip, you can clearly see that there are 2 pods of fletching tables. We hadn't realized yet that you can't use them. You can't use 2 groups of the same type of villager to make this farm. They have to be 2 different groups of different villagers to make the farm. So I'm just going to skip to the part where we finally figured it out. Little break. I figured out that if you put all your enchanted books on one book, you can combo the books to make them all on one. So that's kind of neat. And you can enchant your bow with one book to save some space in your chest. It's totally pointless, but you can do it. Right here we were extremely confused. As you can see, we have 2 pods of villagers, and if you look in the chest right here, there's some iron. So some iron golems spawned in, and we were confused as to why this didn't happen or continue happening. So we end up breaking blocks, spending I think it was about 3.5 hours trying to figure out why this happened. Lo and behold, it's just separate villagers. So yeah, I hate villagers. We tried everything, placing beds, linking them up to beds, replacing the fletching tables and linking them back to it by putting it back down. Nothing worked. So I didn't want to bore you guys with the recording of all this stuff, but the iron farm does not work perfectly just yet, and we're trying to kind of iron out all the kinks. So we're slowly transporting the villagers in baby form over to this iron farm. And we had to trade out one of the pods for cartographers because I don't know why, but it just wasn't spawning. We had a little over 20 villagers in each, or 10 villagers in each, 20 villagers in total. Nothing was working. So now we just got an assembly line of villagers in this area to get them in that pod right there. And hopefully, when they're all linked up and we'll replace all the beds, hopefully everything will work out. Alright, so I've been over there with my little sugarcane farm, bone milling it. I'm out of bone milling now. Bone milling that sugarcane farm, giving the paper to him. These 3 villagers are for insurance and that thing, so that in case that guy turns into a nitrit, we can, you know, send them up for adoption. Yep, that's what we do with them. Just wanted to kind of keep you guys updated as to what's going on. We pretty much got this place sorted. The idea is you die and you can get anything you want. So you come back and you can get your boots, your helmet. We pretty much got everybody. You got a shield there. You got everything you can imagine here. We got these guys in here. We're going to cure them. And believe it or not, after a lot of work and trial and error, we got the iron farm built. Oh, and I'm using Faithful as a new texture pack. It's more appealing, but I don't think this is the updated version. I have to look. This thing does work. I AFK'd here just a tad bit earlier and got some iron to start off with. You can hear it. Iron golem's dying. We got 5 in there. He's gonna die, and some more iron is gonna filter in here. There it is. It works really, really well. I think we're almost ready. I think the next step is to go to the end, which we have almost all the villagers in place for. Yeah, I think that is the next step. I know there's going to be 2 iron farms. This is going to be the first one. There's going to be another one down there. And the idea is you wait there in the middle, which does work if you align yourself right in the middle of the 4 blocks. So build this same thing over there. And after that's done, we'll have a lot of iron. I'm going to AFK there overnight and get some more iron going. Alright, let's go extend the storage on the iron farm. Now we're all set to have stuff start rolling in here. Apparently we already got 3. Nice. And I think Tim and I might start building the outline of the next one. Make some beds. We couldn't build one over there. We thought it would be easier to build one up here. So we went 76 or 77-ish blocks from the beds and went vertical. Okay, we're back. I just did a little over 8 hours of AFKing here for this iron farm. We started the construction of that one up there. It's actually ready. We just have to fill the villagers in. Almost the full double chest here and a bunch in here. And I have some on me from earlier when I took them out, along with the stupid roses. I've been throwing those out periodically too. It's a good little start. Eventually we're gonna have this. Jesus! Eventually we're gonna have this filter in to a sorting system that I think is gonna be somewhere over there-ish. Maybe in the middle over there. Yeah, that'll work, I guess. That one is gonna have a hopper line going all the way out, down, and into this one. Then they'll use the same hopper line to travel to the sorting system. Now I don't have a real good transition from that clip to this one. So right here, we made a bubble column behind me that goes all the way up to start this highway. And now we're building a small highway all the way over to the next iron farm to be able to transport the villagers in and get them into their pods. So in this little time lapse, my version of a time lapse, because I can't do anything fancy yet, we're building the highway to transport the villagers all the way through. Eventually we do end up finishing this, and when we do, we realize that we've run into a major problem, and that for some reason this farm is just ridiculously hard to get to work. It does not work no matter what the heck that we try to do to it. It sucks. Well, no, we suck, because we can't seem to make it work. God dang it. There's no commentary over this next part because my wife was home. So this is how we transported the villagers. In the highway, we have signs and water, and we ended up having all the villagers go up the bubble column and slowly get pushed in through the signs. What we didn't realize was that while they're getting pushed, sometimes they stop. Sometimes they fight the current like this, and you have to jump down in there and eventually push them in. So this got annoying, and eventually we smartened up and made the highway better. Now, in the process of editing this, I don't know where my footage went. Maybe I never hit record, but we turned all the water into rails and minecarted the villagers all the way through. And that was great until we got 20 villagers in total, 10 villagers in each pod, built the same way as the bottom one, and it still, to this day, doesn't work. So we failed massively at making 2 iron farms that we were really hoping we could get working. Hope you enjoy the video. Quick update. So I had my headset off because my headset's kind of broken, but now it turns out all we had to do is wait a little bit, and now we have iron and poppies and whatnot coming in here. The bottom one works. Tim moved the platforms, and our AFK platform is there. And now we have 2 iron farms completely working. Wow, this is right after I edited the video. I'm so glad I get to throw this in, seeing that it works. That's awesome. Maybe I can wait here and see if a golem will spawn in. See? There you go. There's your golem. It works. Nice. Alright. Tim started testing it already, and that AFK platform works for both of these to run at the same time. If you want to build this in your world, I swear, check out Old Guy. He has the best Iron Golem farm tutorials on Xbox. And he replies. He replies to a lot of the comments. He replied to me. He replied to me. My little comments in there, and he sent a reply. So that was nice of him. And this is his most recent video, and we built 2 of them.